Hello everyone, welcome back to the class. In our previous class, we started our discussion on the major organelle, that is nucleus. Nucleus is a controlling center of eukaryotic cell. It contains the most genetic material of cell. So in most of eukaryotes, we can see the cases of cell having single nuclei, that is known as uninucleate, multinucleate, and certain cells like RBC lack nucleus. So most nucleus are spherical in their shape, but multi-lobed nuclei can also be commonly seen in polymorphonuclear leukocytes or mammalian epididymis cell. If we consider the structure of a nucleus in G0 phase, so it contains nuclear envelope, nucleolus, nuclear matrix, chromatin. So the proper structural organization of a nucleus is, so it is having outer nuclear envelope. In between there are openings which is known as pore, nuclear pore, through which the material inside the cytoplasm can be transported into the nucleus or vice versa. So there is a dark region inside the nucleus which is known as nucleolus, and also there is a fluid filled structure that is not particularly fluid filled. So there are chromatin networks present. That portion is known as the nuclear matrix, and the membrane can be considered as of two types, that is outer nuclear membrane and inner nuclear membrane, constituting the nuclear envelope. From that nuclear envelope, so endoplasmic reticulum emerges out, having the ribosome attached to it, and there are chromatin network present here, that is genetic material known as DNA, or in some cases there may be RNA, protein materials. And the nucleus is having a supporting structure known to be filaments, microtubule filaments, which gives a particular support to it, and also it helps in holding the nucleolus in a correct position. So there are two types of chromatin based on their appearance, heterochromatin and euchromatin, present inside the nucleus. So this is the basic structure of nucleus. Further, the nuclear envelope was discussed. It consists of two concentric membranes called outer and inner. Outer nuclear membrane is continuous with ER, contains a ribosome bound to its cytoplasmic surface. So space between the inner and outer nuclear membrane is perinuclear space, directly connected with the lumen of the ER. Inner nuclear membrane carries unique proteins that are specific to the nucleus. Function of the membrane is it acts as a barrier that supports or separates the contents of nucleus, acts as a boundary. Nuclear envelope contains nuclear pore, the hole for transport of macromolecules between cytoplasm and the nucleus. Nuclear pore, it consists of a multi-protein complex termed as nuclear pore complex. So this nuclear pore of significant function, so it transports the material across the nucleus, and the proteins that make up the nuclear pore complex is known as nucleoporins. Nuclear matrix is also called as nuclear scaffold, a network of protein filaments in the nucleus which provides a structural framework, and the ultrastructure of nuclear matrix is possessing nuclear lamina, internal nuclear matrix. Nuclear lamina consists of network of intermediate filaments present on the nuclear side of the inner membrane made of lamin proteins, and nuclear lamina provides some mechanical support to the nucleus. It links the internal nuclear matrix to the nuclear membrane. Nucleolus is a dynamic non-membrane bound body. It disappears in the late prophase and reappears in the telophase stage. This nucleolus is produced by a region or particular region of the chromosome that is known as nucleolar organizing region, and it consists of three major regions: fibrillar centers, which contains rRNA genes in the form of partly condensed chromatin; fibrillar component which surrounds the fibrillar center, which contains RNA molecules in the process of transcription; and granular region is a region which is outermost and having mature ribosomal precursor particle. And the major function of nucleus is it is the site of transcription of ribosomal RNA and assembly of ribosomes. So in our in humans, 5 chromosomes containing NORs are identified as secondary constructions on metaphase chromosome. So this is the metaphase chromosome, where you can see the centromere, which is known to be the primary construction, which attaches the sister chromatids firmly, and the difference between these two constructions are noticed during anaphase, as chromosome can bend only at the site of primary construction. The area of chromosome distal to the nucleolar organizer is called satellite or trabant. The chromosome with the secondary construction usually associated with the nucleolus is called SAT chromosome. So today we will be learning about transport through nuclear pore. As discussed earlier, the nuclear pore is association of protein complex, and it is having octagonal symmetry. The RNA molecules and ribosomal subunits are exported to the cytosol. All proteins that function in the nucleus are synthesized in the cytosol and are then imported. Some of the proteins which are synthesized in the cytosol by the cytosolic ribosome are transported into the nucleus. Whichever product which is produced inside the nucleus is transported out to the cytosol with the same nuclear pore itself. Some of the molecules up to 50 kilodaltons enter the nucleus by passive diffusion. Proteins which are more than 50 kilodaltons are actively transported into and out of the nucleus. Proteins are imported or exported from the nucleus through nuclear pores. Contains an amino acid sequence that functions as nuclear localization signal or nuclear export signal. So there are nuclear import signal also, nuclear export signal also, and the NLS directs the nuclear proteins to the nucleus. So by if there is a transport of proteins into the nucleus, so it contains particular sequence. That sequence binds to the particular receptor, that is nuclear import receptor, and it is transported to the nucleus. If there is a case where protein should be transported outside to the cytosol, then the protein is having the nuclear export signal, which binds to the site or particular receptor known as nuclear exports receptor, through which the protein is transported outside the nucleus, that is to the cytosol. So the nuclear protein containing the nuclear localizing signal is transported through the nuclear pore post-translationally and in a fully folded conformation. So the signals are the proteins having the nuclear localization signal. That signal is lysine rich internally located non-cleavable sequence, and the protein which is having the nuclear export signal, that signal is leucine rich short sequence motif on a protein that acts as binding site for an exportin, that is known as nuclear export receptor. You can see here Localization of T antigen containing its normal nuclear import signal is lysine rich. Localization of T antigen containing a mutated nuclear import signal, so it is mutated. So this was about the function of nuclear localization signal. This is the nuclear pore complex, the arrangement of NPC in the nuclear envelope. So there is a cytosolic fibrils, which is a projection towards the outer nuclear membrane. So this is the nuclear envelope. So between both nuclear envelope, the gap is filled with the nuclear pore complex, and this nuclear pore complex is octahedral, 8-fold rotational symmetry it is possessing. So it is also having proteins that is known as nucleoporins. Let us see how the import and export of proteins happens through this nuclear pore complex. So to begin with, we have a particular protein which are to be transported into the nucleus. Let us divide this page or a slide into cytosol and pore complex. Consider this is which I had drawn in blue color is the nuclear envelope, which is the yellow color portion is nuclear pore complex, or I may write it as like this. This is better. So this is NPC, nuclear pore complex, and I'll label this part as, the upper part as cytosol and the lower part as nucleus. So now I am discussing the import of protein into the nucleus. So what happens in this case is the protein it is having NLS, that is nucleus or nuclear localization signal. That nucleus localization signal binds to the particular receptor called importin receptor, and this complex is transported across the nuclear pore and it enters inside the nucleus. In nucleus there is RAN GTP. This RAN GTP, imagine the protein NLS attached to the importin is here now. So this RAN GTP binds with the importin. So the binding of RAN GTP with the receptor release the cargo. That means protein and NLS is free now. And RAN GTP is bound with the importin. This protein along with NLS is released into the nucleus. And what is the fate of RAN GTP and importin? This gets back to the cytosol. Okay. The RAN GTP, which is bound to the importin, gets back to the cytosol to get another protein along with it. So this is what importin import happens. So now let us draw a flow chart. Protein with NLS, that is importin signal. This signal binds with the importin receptor, and this is transported across the nuclear pore complex inside the nucleus. In nucleus, RAN GTP binds with the importin releasing the cargo, and this RAN GTP with importin gets back to the cytosol. This is import cycle. Now let us discuss how the protein is exported out from the nucleus. Again, I'll draw the same thing. Nuclear envelope. In between there is nuclear pore complex. This is the cytosol and this is nucleus. And now we are talking about export. What? Export. If I have to begin the process, so the protein with the signaling sequence NES, nuclear export signal, will bind to the receptor known as exportin, EXP. And then the RAN GTP binds with this exportin, and this is transported to the cytosol, across the nuclear pore complex. Here in the cytosol, the RAN GTP releases the exportin, and that RAN GTP and exportin gets back to the nucleus, releasing the protein along with the signaling sequence in the cytosol itself. So let us understand this mechanism through a image. See here, to begin with, protein with the nuclear localization signal along with the nuclear import receptor comes to the cytosolic fibril and gets inside the nucleus through the nuclear pore complex, where RAN GTP comes and binds with that association, releasing the cargo to the nucleus. RAN GTP along with the receptor gets back to the cytosol, where the receptor is left free and RAN GTP hydrolyzes to RAN GDP in the cytosol. So this is importin, where the protein is getting inside the nucleus. Here, where the RAN GTP binds to the receptor along with the protein with nuclear export signal is transported across the nuclear pore complex, where the RAN GDP is released, protein cargo is released, nuclear export receptor is freed. The nuclear export receptor gets back inside the nucleus to get another protein so that it can be transported outside the cytosol. This is the nuclear export, nuclear import. Importin binds with the molecules in the cytoplasm and release it into the nucleus. Exportin binds to the molecule in the nucleus and release it into the cytoplasm. During translocation through the pore, exportin and importin interact with phenyl alanine glycine repeat, that is known as FG repeat on the nucleoporins. Nucleoporins is a protein subunit of the nuclear pore complex. The two types of receptor proteins are highly homogeneous in sequence and belong to the beta importin family or karyofurin. In this you can see the compartmentalization of GDP and GTP. See, RAN GDP is present in the cytosol, RAN GTP is present in the nucleus. So this RAN GDP and GTP, the action of both of this is regulated by another molecule, that is RAN GAP and RAN GEP. Another protein, RAN, a small monomeric nuclear GTPase plays a critical regulatory role in the interaction of the complex with nuclear pore complexes and in its translocation through the nuclear pore complex. RAN-GTP occurs inside the nucleus. RAN-GDP occurs in the cytosol. So the reason for this difference is because of the asymmetric distribution of two proteins, that is GEF, guanine nucleotide exchange factor, GAP, GTPase activating protein. The nucleus contains RAN-GEF, which stimulates the replacement of GDP into GDP by GTP, which converts RAN GDP into RAN GTP. So RAN GDP comes inside the nucleus to become RAN GTP with the help of RAN GEF. The cytoplasm contains RAN gap, which causes the GTP to be hydrolyzed to GDP. So RAN GAP localized on the surface of the cytoplasmic side, which is responsible for hydrolysis of GTP into the GDP. So this is the cycle and compartmentalization of RAN GDP and GTP, which regulates the process of import protein. So this completes the cell organelles and targeting protein. So in next class I'll be starting a new chapter of life science. So stay tuned along with me to explore more topics of life science. Thank you.